Out of sight, out of mind. The banking crisis has managed to push the stalemate over the debt ceiling out of the headlines. But make no mistake, a resolution over the standoff is nowhere in sight. And now concern is growing again that the United States might default on its debt for the first time in history. Before we begin, remember to like this video and subscribe for more economic updates. According to the prestigious global investment research firm Msci, the probability of a default has risen fivefold since the beginning of the year. Commenting on his firm's analysis, Msci head of portfolio management research Andy Spark said last week that the probability of a default has gone up in a very significant way. Sparks and his colleagues at Msci aren't the only ones who see the probability of a default growing substantially larger. Greg Valliere is the chief U.S. policy strategist at AGF Investments. In his view, there's just a 60% chance a deal will be reached. Valliere still thinks the odds favor a resolution, but just barely. As he puts it, I think we'll come right up to the precipice. The current debt ceiling remains stuck at an already stratospheric height of $31.4 trillion. Republicans, now back in control of the House of Representatives, say they won't vote for any increase to the debt ceiling unless Democrats agree to future spending cuts. The Democrats say that the debt ceiling should be raised without any conditions. In a speech last week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen again warned that a default would cause an economic and financial catastrophe. Experts say that the implications of a default are so grave that even a near default could trigger negative consequences. According to Goldman Sachs chief economist Jan Hatzius, a close call with default could cause a recession, an upheaval in financial markets. And Moody's says that even a brief period of default would wipe out 1 million jobs. The exact date that the government will no longer be able to pay its bills and begin to default on its obligations is unknown. It's expected that there'll be greater clarity on that after taxes are collected this month. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the date could arrive as soon as July, and likely no later than September. Last week, Barron's published an article saying there's really nothing any of us can do about the looming default crisis, other than pray that elected leaders in Washington see the light before it's too late. I disagree. There is more retirement savers can do. They can take meaningful steps to prepare their accounts for the severe impact of a possible debt default. One of those steps could be the acquisition of physical gold and silver, which are surging right now while turmoil continues to upset the banking system. This appears to be the ultimate game of chicken. As both sides are speeding closer to that date, nobody is flinching. Experts say that the chances of a default are increasing. Can you imagine if no one has the maturity to grab that wheel and steer this car in the right direction? Retirement savers need to take this situation very seriously. I am Devlin Steele, signing out.